Today's meditation is on the same mantra. Whatever we are studying, I thought it will be good to meditate. It's good to understand this mantra a little bit more detail. Let's play this one more time.
न निरोधो न च उत्पत्तिः न निरोधो न च उत्पत्तिः न बध्यो न च साधकः न बध्यो न च साधकः न मुमुक्षुर्न वै मुक्तः न मुमुक्षुर्न वै मुक्तः इत्येषा परमार्थता इत्येषा परमार्थता.
So, what is the central message here? There's no birth, there is no dissolution. Nobody is in bondage, nobody is nobody is liberated. We have to understand what is ignorance and what is truth. This karika is from the standpoint of a jnani who has gained the knowledge of Turiya Atma. For a jnani, the three bodies, the Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram, they are all mithya, they are not a fact. They appear. They all appear in consciousness, in awareness. So jnani cognizes the truth, and when he cognizes Turiya Atma, he becomes the all-pervading awareness. Because he has in his mind, he has dropped the ignorance about the world and about himself. When he becomes this pure awareness, there is no concept of bondage or freedom for a wise man. What happens to Ajnani? What happens to a person who doesn't know this truth of Turiya Atma? He is called as a Deha Abhimana. He identifies with the body as the reality. A wise man takes the consciousness as the reality, awareness as the reality. An ignorant person takes the body as the reality. This is the big difference between a wise man and a jnani, ignorant. How do I understand this consciousness in myself? When I close my eyes in meditation, I should remember that the central core of the entire universe is this life force called as awareness or consciousness. Very, very important fact. If I don't start like this, I can never understand Vedanta. It is this life force which is passing through the body and mind, and it gets reflected. This consciousness enlivens this body mind. Without this consciousness, the body is a dead matter. All of us are alive today. But this life, the sentiency in me is this consciousness. What about our ego? Our ego is like a tungsten in a bulb. The mind. When I say ego, means mind. The consciousness, which is my real nature, When the mind wakes up, the consciousness, the awareness reflects on this mind like a tungsten gets the electricity and becomes glowing. So a bulb glows when the electricity passes through the tungsten. Mind glows when the living force, the life force, passes through the waking mind. And then what happens? Then the mixture of the consciousness with the mind, that is what is called as ego. That ego is the one which feels it is bound. That ego is the one which feels that it is now free with this jnanam of Upanishad. From the absolute standpoint, all of us at all the moments, eternally, we are ever liberated as pure consciousness. So in in the meditation, I have to own up that pure consciousness and claim I am that consciousness. When you stand on that consciousness, there is no liberation, there is no bondage. Again, when the mind comes up, you will feel you are bound to this body, bound in this world of experience. That spirit, that awareness, which is muffled by the matter envelopment, it feels a separate existence. That separate existence is called as the ego. In sleep, I don't feel that separate existence. It is called as moksha. It is called as my nature, my intrinsic nature. When I wake up or when I'm in dream, I feel I am an individual experiencing the world, but the truth is, it is only an ego, it is a shadow which is born from this consciousness. It goes back to this consciousness. My limitations are apparent, they are not real. It is this mind and ego which needs the consolation of liberation. It has got freedom. It is this mind and ego which feels I am now free. But actually speaking, the ego comes to realize its own nature, which is that Paramatma, which is ever existent Paramatma. The Jivatma realizes the Paramatma. As long as I'm completely involved as an ego, I will never feel limitless. I will never feel fulfilled. This ego is like a projection of rope snake on the rope. Ego is a projection on the reality called as Turiya. The substratum is real. Never take that as unreal. What is seen is unreal. Drishyatvam, which we have seen in the Mandukya second chapter at the beginning, the world is drishyam, therefore it is mithya. Atma is adrishyam, it can never be seen because it is always the subject. Subject always exists. The goal of all the sadhakas, the seekers, is to annihilate or sublimate this ego and its projections. What is the best way to sublimate this projection? Whenever the projections happen, remember it is false. It is mithya. It is appearance. I am Satyam. I am the observer of this mithya mind. Mind is Sakshi Pratyaksham. It doesn't have its own awareness. The awareness in the mind is borrowed from the Sakshi. What distorts my understanding of the universe? It is the thoughts. The thoughts which come whenever I experience the world. I need the thoughts from the world of five objects, they reach my mind and I feel they are all real. Mind is awake, mind is asleep. In the sleep state, I don't experience this world. I transcend the mind and intellect. Therefore, I say the world is mithya. I own up and claim the original awareness consciousness as my real nature. Thuriam is my absolute nature. Waking and dream and sleep, these three states are relative. They have the nature of rising and unmanifesting. Manifest, unmanifest. But I, the Turiya Atma, the substratum, am the reality. This is the essence of the 32nd mantra of Mandukya Upanishad, the same chapter. Very, very beautiful mantra. The more you meditate on this, on the truth of this mantra, understand the Bhashyam, you will realize the Atma, which is the goal of all the sadhakas. Please close your eyes, sit erect. Observe your breath for a couple of seconds. This calms your mind. Whenever the mind is calm, it is ready for meditation. Mandukya Upanishad reveals my intrinsic nature as Turiya Atma. I claim this Atma as my real self, the subject. I don't project Atma as an object. I don't say Turiyam exists, Brahman exists. I say, I am Turiya, I am Atma. This is the only way to drop the ego. The ego is a false self. Atma is the real self. See the difference between Atma and the ego is called meditation. The false ego appears as the waker, dreamer, sleeper. Ma. The three alphabets of Om. So when I chant Om, I should remember the sound represents the three states: the false appearances. The silence is my nature. Om is the symbol for Sagunam and Nirgunam Brahma. It's a very sacred symbol for me to remember my nature. When I remember my nature as Turiya Atma, there is no Anatma. When I am involved in the Anatma, my mind forgets the Atma. This is the nature of the mind. Shruti, the scriptures, reveals the Sakshi Atma, Turiya Atma. The seventh mantra of Mandukya Upanishad. Na anta prajnam, na bahish prajnam. I am not the waker. I am not the dreamer. Neither I am the sleeper. All the three states belongs to the ego, I. I own up and claim the Atma simultaneously. I disclaim the Anatma, body, mind, and the world. The mind is like the tungsten in the bulb, which glows and the world is manifest. When the mind goes to sleep, the universe collapses. The world rests on the mind, temporary. I am Sakshi of the mind. The three states are known to me. They are objects of awareness. The thoughts and emotions are known to me. They are objects of awareness. I stop saying, I am angry, I am deluded, and start saying, the mind is angry, the mind is deluded. I am Nitya Mukta Atma, ever free Atma, ever evident Atma. The nature of consciousness is eternal, immortal. That is my nature. Identification with the body or mind makes me a jiva. When I own up the pure awareness, I become and understand the absolute principle in this universe, the changeless consciousness, the adhisthana, the substratum. I am ever free is the teaching. I have realized my nature. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Aham Satyam Jagan Mithya. Om. 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamathaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes.